How's my level? That's all I can say. A lot of people...
Speak at your loudest.
How am I loudest? Oh my God, someone's standing on my toe. Someone's standing on my toe. Someone's standing on my toe. All right, so I'm just going to start. Well, and this will be recorded. You're not toying with me, are you?
No, it's recording.
Because a lot of people toy with me.
We're recording.
All right, cool. Welcome to the Greg Fitzsimmons Show, FitzDog Radio. I'm your host, Andy Kindler. I'm sitting in. It's like the first. Remember when Loggins and Messina had their album? Of course you don't, because you're not 60. But Loggins and Messina had an album, and it was called Loggins with Messina Sitting In, and it had all your hits on it. It had Vahiva La. It had You've Got Those Angry Eyes. It had Your Mama Don't Dance, and Your Daddy also has a different problem. So now, why did I say that? Many people want to know. Why would I have said that at the beginning? Okay, welcome. What? Was I welcoming you to the... Oh, I'm sitting in. I am guest hosting for Greg Fitzsimmons. Also, I have a rasp in my voice. And I have one installed. A lot of people... I went to a doctor, and it happened to be Dr. Vinny Boom Bots. Can you believe that? You thought Vinny Boom Bots was fictional. I'm realizing now I really don't need anything else to do comedy. What do I need? Greg Fitzsimmons sitting opposite of me, slowing me down. What do I need him? What do I need him? In the amount of time he's talking, I could be doing 4 more jokes. They're not funny jokes, but there would be 4 more of them. Because I am nothing if not a man who understands volume. I will put myself up against anybody as in terms of my cowardice. There's nobody more cowardly than me. But welcome to please don't turn this off. For those of you who are listening to Greg Fitzsimmons, he's not here yet. And I just want to tell you, I'm obsessive compulsive. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and now I'm worried about my phone. And let's see. Maybe I'll call Greg in his car. And that won't be fun. Well, if I call him in his car, is that really me hosting? No. So Greg Fitzsimmons, what happened was, well, we don't know what happened. We have every stand-up comic, most stand-up comics, we're on time as far as that goes. There are some people who are on time all the time. And my theory is, if you go in somewhere and someone's always on time, they slept there. I don't care what they tell you. Look for something rumpled. I don't even know how my level is right now, except I'm on 5. My new thing is, why can't I laugh like Bill Maher laughs? Bill Maher hasn't said anything funny since hasn't said anything funny, but he laughs after everything he says. And the other thing he does, which I find very annoying, is he gives the audience, he does a bad joke. Most of his jokes are bad, although he does have writers, and the writers are good writers. But when you give good material to somebody who doesn't know how to deliver it, you might as well not give the material to them. And then you have to ask yourself, if you're writing for Bill Maher, first of all, you have to say to yourself, I'm a minute away from committing suicide. How? Because you're probably funnier than him. Why does he have a show? That's what I would, if I wrote for Bill Maher, which wouldn't happen, every day I would come in there and under my breath, I would say, why do you have a show? Why do you have a show, you overrated, Islamophobic, and I'd add some other words. You know, a lot of people are sick and tired of the fact that I don't like prejudice. They go, enough already. Why don't you fall in love with the prejudice? It could work for you. I'm against prejudice, and I'm going to say it until they round me up along with the Muslims and the Jews. The Jews always get rounded up. If you ever hear recordings of dictators in the past, and they are giving orders about who to round up, they'll always say, all right, everybody, are all my Nazis in the house, in the bunker? All right, today I want you to get the gypsies, I want you to get the women, of course, the homosexuals, of course, the people who claim not to be homosexual, and I guess that's it. Oh, yeah, the Jews. Always round up the Jews. If you're going to be rounding up someone and you don't bring me some Jews, I'll assume that you've fallen down on the job. And if you fall down on the job of rounding up Jews, what does that say about you? Welcome to the Greg Fitzsimmons Show, or maybe he calls it FitzDog. FitzDog Radio, Sirius XM. I don't have Sirius XM because I am Jewish and cheap. And I am now going to continue the Jewish cheap, and it's not an analogy, it's a statement. Jews are not really cheap. Jews happen to be, Andy, you know what people love about me and why I'm very popular on the radio? I'm not popular on the radio. I'm not popular off the radio. I'm not popular in my house. My wife doesn't like me. My, something funny here. You would think after all these years that I would not say, but I do. My brother, who is an investment banker, don't shoot the messenger. He goes on these shows and he never says, On the other hand, I have no idea what he's talking about because his mergers and acquisitions and don't think because my brother does mergers and acquisitions that I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump because I just like the guy. All right, now look. I wish I had a clock running down here. Welcome to Greg FitzDog Radio, and now we're going to do overheards. Did you overhear? I overheard. Hey, I'm Greg Fitzsimmons. I put 12 seconds into coming up with an intro to overheard. All right, here's one from Eddie Smiggy from email.com, and he said he heard this from a Trump supporter in a restaurant. And the Trump supporter to his friend. And it's not just black people who I hate. And that was overheard. Don't think I also don't hate. I don't just hate the Muslims. Is what this was overheard. Okay, this one comes from Google Mail at googlemail.mail. And this guy is Schmenke in Redondo Beach, and he said he overheard this at the surf club. Oh God, I lived near the beach for 10 years. I can't think of 20 years. Can't think of one reference about it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very exciting. Coming in, special guest to the Greg Fitzsimmons Show. Coming in dressed. He's dressed like a criminal from a TV commercial. You know what I'm saying? Because it can't be a member of a minority group. It's got to be a white guy because of the political correctness. When I grew up, you were allowed to assume that all black people were criminals and everything was cool.
That's right.
But now with the PC world.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with the PC world is, they're trying to stop us from expressing who we really are. Like, I'm not a fan of the blacks and the Jews.
That's right. And now if I say, I got to say, excuse me now after everything like that.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, cheap Jew. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Now
you're late because you're drunk, Irish guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming that watermelon's out of season. Black person. Black lady.
You're late. Now, wait, you're late, but you're not black. You're going against all stereotypes.
What's your excuse then?
Yes. Now, I fucking love that you started this without me.
I did, and I actually, for the first time, I felt free and easy. I felt like there was no pressure. Nobody was interrupting me.
You're saying you enjoy my podcast more when I'm not on my podcast.
You know what will make me very upset? I'm only saying this because it happened to me once. Yeah. It will make me very upset if none of this was recorded. Because I know that's your MO. And we'll be back with more of OCD moments.
ADD OCD.
I remember the 15th time I tried to record Andy, and then I started thinking about a cookie, and next thing I know, boom.
I wish Andy was kidding right now. One of the times that Andy did my podcast, and you've done it many times, maybe more than any other guest.
I was just named Guest of the Year by Guest of the Year magazine.
You were Guest of the Year one year. We had the best podcast of there's the FitzDog Awards at the end of the year.
And this is how sad my life is. That was the best day of that year for me, was when not knowing you were going to pick your favorite podcast of the year. And even sadder, I was crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
And I was holding my breath, hoping it would be me.
And yet you didn't know I was giving out the awards that
I didn't
day?
know. I didn't know that I would get the award.
Right.
I knew I delivered the goods.
You delivered the goods, and I believe I believe it was a tirade on. Was it Adam Carolla when you were doing the?
Let me ask you a question about that. When I go on Twitter,
Yeah.
the first recommendation is Adam Carolla. Every day. It doesn't change.
That's
Adam
not
Carolla
true.
and Neil Brennan. Every single day. Does that mean that
What do you mean when you go to what?
A who to follow. It's like a who to follow.
Right.
And it says, have you thought about following Adam Carolla? And it's there every day. Now,
Seriously?
Does that mean I know you pay $100,000 a year
No, never.
to get people to Twitter
Is
you?
that a thing? Is that really a thing? There's a
I don't
guy
know,
trying to
but-
come in our studio.
Is that a
Who's this guy?
thing? I know this
The levels
gentleman.
are off?
I know this gentleman.
Mine has to be higher.
Because you were 7 hours late.
Excellent.
Because you were 9.5 hours late. Oh, by the way, I never covered how every comedian is always lying, and you know comedians are lying because they have 8 or 9 excuses.
Yeah.
I just flew in last night, jet lag, drug deal went bad, wife very sick, my dog ate my ability to lie properly. Sorry, Andy. And of course, this is all to preface me saying it'll be another 45 minutes.
Now, look, I flew in. I was in goddamn Tampa, Florida last night.
Okay, first of all, that you were in Tampa, Florida, which I find to have been the worst comedy city I've ever been in. I bombed at Side Splitters. When I say bombed, I mean that people's sides actually felt better as they left. More solid, as if they had gone to the gym.
You were a side healer.
I was a side healer.
Right.
Yeah, nobody was like, ow, ow, oh, please,
Yeah.
you're killing me.
Yeah. Their abs were relaxed.
Everybody's abs were relaxed. Everybody felt like, they feel worse. A couple people said, I feel worse than before I came in here.
Yeah.
Which is good in a way. Because a lot of times, like once went to a Dave Attell show, was laughing so hard I drove off the road. On the way home.
People were inhaling milk through their nose.
That's right.
Yeah.
People were drinking milk through their nose after my show because they knew it wouldn't come back up. It was safe to say.
Their faces felt good.
Their faces felt
Yeah.
good.
People that's what they recommend actually for people that have just had plastic surgery on their faces, facelifts. Go see Andy Kindler
Right.
live.
Because you're not supposed to move your face that much.
Right.
So it's a safe area. It's a safe area. All right, were you at Side Splitters?
No, I was at the Improv, which is it's a circus. It's a circus. The first night I go up there and the fire alarm goes off as I hit the stage. But not the noise, just the light blinking. And it goes on for about 15 minutes. And so I just me, Johnny Improvisational.
You actually, I told you once, you called yourself that for 6 months.
Right.
We couldn't get a booking.
Were you my manager during that time?
Well, Zach Galifianakis tells me I should have a show called Yes, Andy. It should be an improv show. And I just said that to prove I'm friends with Zach Galifianakis.
Nice.
But you actually know that
it
I'm
took
friends
you over
with.
6 minutes.
You
Usually
actually-
it's sooner.
Oh, you know why? Because I was over at Bradley. I can't think of his name.
Cooper.
Whitford? No, that was my mistake.
Oh.
I went to Bradley Whitford's house. Nothing's going on there.
Right. So I do an improv bit about how the world is obviously ending, and we should all just get naked and have sex in the club now. And I had most of the crowd convinced that we should do it.
Would you have? Then let me ask you a question. Let's say you called your wife.
Yeah.
In the middle of the show.
Yeah.
And you said, Aaron. What's your wife's name in show business?
Oh, Aaron.
Okay, good. Because her real name is.
I don't know.
My wife's real name is Fang. So you called your wife and you said, "Look, hear me. First of all, hear me out. Hear me out.
I haven't even started yet. Hear me out.
Hear me out. I'm not saying you have to sign off on this. I started a bit about having an orgy in the club, and do you think I wanted it to get started? No. Now everyone's clothes are off. My question is, I'm not saying I'm planning it, but should my penis fall into a woman as part of this stunt?
Yeah.
Fall into a woman. I can't even do sexual material without. It's very bad.
Yeah. No, I think that she would be on board for it.
She would not. No, yes, she would.
I think if I had sex with a guy, she'd be like, all right, you were bored on the road. I think if I had sex with a woman, she'd be very upset. But she's very
You know
into
what? 'Cause the ladies love AIDS.
The ladies love AIDS. It's the ladies that love AIDS.
Honey, what are you getting upset about? I just had anal sex with a man. It didn't mean anything to me.
The pounds are falling off of you. You look great.
Folks, these are jokes that could not work between the years of 1988 and 1992 or work really well in Boston.
Bobby Slayton killed with this stuff
Boston.
in 89. Don't you dare make fun of Boston.
Boston is a very cosmopolitan city unless they're punching you in your throat.
Wait, let me get back to
I'm scared about Boston.
Let me get back to Tampa.
Okay.
So-
Why do I interrupt people? Okay,
But because you're yes, Andy.
Yeah, I'm so funny. I can't keep it in. All right.
So the a bunch of other stuff happened. I had some Trump supporters jump up and start protesting my show, and they were thrown out physically.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God!
I have it on tape. I should have queued it up.
Do they have hats?
No, but they started chanting "Make America Great Again," and nobody had brought it up. I wasn't even doing Trump material. I don't do Trump material.
How is that possible?
Because I said this couple said we met while working at the Cheesecake Factory, and I said, "Oh, making America fat again," and then this table starts chanting, "Make America Great Again."
That's
all they needed.
That's all.
And I said, "Hey, look, this isn't like that. This is that thing." And then the crowd started booing them. So I started telling the crowd, "This is a democracy. They have a right to bring down the government. They have a right." And I was complimenting them in a way that they didn't know I was shitting on them, but I did the entire time. And then eventually they got thrown out. But then last night, or 2 nights ago, two little people, we could have said midgets between 88 and 92.
In fact, if you wanted to headline, you had to say it.
That's right. In Boston.
Yeah.
They got into a fight and were thrown out by the bouncers, and the bouncers, as a joke, picked up one of the guys and threw him through the door.
As a joke.
Well, I don't know.
Right.
I have to assume he did it for comic effect because it was unnecessary.
I don't want to say it was a rough night for the bouncers, but he threw his back out, reaching down to the floor to extract a little person.
A little person.
Yeah, he slipped a disc, going so low to the floor.
Do you think sometimes when they try to improve a slander, they make it kind of worse? Like, don't you think little person is worse
little
than midget?
person.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm a little person. I'm 5'5.5", or as my friends call me, Cinco de Mayo. But I do like to go to little people support groups and lord it over them. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm a normal-sized person. How did I end up in here? Oh, no offense. No offense.
Go to the bathroom and just wait with your penis in your hand.
I thought no one had showed up, and then I realized, look down, Andy. And they love it. They love it.
Go to the Special Olympics and
why do I do comedy that you would do? This is the kind of of Adam Carolla style comedy that I would never even think of until I get with you and your New York contingent. And
thank you for not calling me Boston guy. You always think I'm from Boston. I'm not.
I just forgot.
I'm from New York. Yeah.
Hey, Boston guy.
Yeah.
Let me make you feel at home.
Yeah.
Would you like some crab chowder? Hey, here I'm going to test you if you're really from Boston.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm from New York.
Okay, but I don't know why. But you spent time in Boston.
I spent time in Boston.
Your father was a DJ, and you lived in New York.
Correct.
You also worked at a country club.
That's right.
What does a regular coffee mean in Boston?
Light and sweet.
That's right.
Yeah.
I, like an elitist idiot, ordered a regular coffee to distinguish I didn't want dark roast.
Yeah.
And it was sweet.
Yeah.
I had a sugar coma. And everyone looked. I said, "Oh, I meant regular, like not dark roast."
Yeah.
The guy took me. He threw me through the window of Dunkin' Donuts. Threw me.
He thought you were a little person.
No. He just couldn't stand that.
Right.
I said that I was talking about different roasts of coffee because his brother died in Vietnam, and he smashed my head through this window. And I still got a $20 gift certificate.
You did? In the lawsuit?
No. I'm not taking it to court.
Now, Andy, you grew up in New York.
I grew up in Queens, New York.
Queens, New York, and as a Jew, that must have felt very comfortable. Because everybody's Jewish there, right?
It was very. Here's from my early act. It's very rough, because I was Reform, and all my friends were like conservative. And I go, oh, look who won't wear a yarmulke. Well, they held me down, made me wear a yarmulke. And one time, I got punched in the face because I said I wasn't going to sing my Haftorah portion.
I just gave you the light.
You know, folks, do you know this is one of my first jokes that I don't remember much about.
This is one of your first jokes?
I haven't come up with a joke yet, but let's say they are humor.
Okay.
It's humorous. I don't want to say I don't remember much about my bar mitzvah, but I do remember I killed. The rabbi couldn't follow me. I got an applause break during my Haftorah reading. And my other favorite joke, which you've told me a lot, is like, you wish you could write one joke this great. Yeah. Is the worst gig I ever did was an Orthodox Jewish wedding where the men and the women were separate from each other, but they both came together to not enjoy what I was talking about.
Do you think, because we talked about racial stereotypes, blacks are late, they like watermelons, they're on welfare, you said.
Only you would go back through your hideous examples of your prejudice.
Do you think that the Jews are funnier? And why, Andy?
And why? Well, I kind of buy into the stereotype that Jews are funny whether they want to be or not, and I always use my friend Bill, who actually is a comedian, so it doesn't count, but he wasn't trying to be funny, but we were sitting in the car, and the Whitney Houston song had become popular, and she was saying, "How will I know?" And he looked at the radio and said, You'll know, Whitney. You'll know. Believe me, you'll know. And that's why I think Jews are annoyed, and a lot of times that annoyance comes out as humor.
Yeah.
But all oppressed groups ultimately can be funny.
Let me tell you a quote from Jean-Paul Sartre.
Now, how's my sound now? Is it good?
It was mine that was off. I was too low. Don't worry, you were booming the entire time.
Why would you adjust my microphone if you were having trouble?
Because yours was so high.
Oh.
And then mine was so low, and I tried to even them out, but apparently that's not the way it's coming through my cans.
I love when you say cans, especially at a topless bar.
Jean-Paul Sartre.
Do you ever run out of humor? I guess I ran out of humor about 30 seconds ago. I could have just stopped and said, "You take over." But I had to do cans.
Is it like when you see somebody jogging and they get to a red light, but they keep jogging in place even though they don't need to be moving anymore?
No, but when someone's washing their car, and you should try this. When they're washing their car, this is great. You say to them, "Hey, when you get done, you want to wash mine?" Boom. Boom. You want
What about this? You see a guy walking down the street with some flowers. What do you say?
Well, thank you.
There you go.
How did you know it was my birthday?
Never tired. A girl's got on low cleavage. What do you say? Are those for me?
No, Greg. This is why you've been arrested 12 times.
Yes. So
are those for me? I'm going to try that one.
Jean-Paul Sartre.
Right. Jean-Paul Sartre.
There's an article in the New York Times. Did you read your Sunday Times? Good Jew?
No, I don't order it because of the thing.
So there's an article about trolls and the history of trolls, and about how ultimately Trump is the exact description of a troll. He's a guy who prods with misinformation and who says outlandish things just to get a reaction, and kind of trolls put it on the other. Whoever they're trolling,
right?
They make the other person have to use facts to counter them.
Yeah, right.
Whereas the troll himself is not using facts.
No, they're just going on, and then they go, "You never addressed my point."
Right.
Yeah.
And so you end up serving exactly what, and the only thing to do is to ignore them. And yet that's not what the press does. Like right now, they are covering this whole thing that Obama wiretapped him. Right. That's not what they should be covering. They should be covering only the Russian cover-up. That should be it.
Right. Well, how about the fact that they came out last week?
Oh, wait, but Jean-Paul Sartre.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he's talking about how the Holocaust, how the anti-Semites during the Holocaust were saying crazy things about the Jews, and that they actually they even are aware of how outrageous the things they're saying are. And they don't ultimately completely mean them. There's a hint of irony to it, but they're doing it to unsettle the other side.
Right. Yeah, it is I always have to remind myself, don't be arguing. Don't argue. Don't get into their argument. They know that's what they want you to do.
Right.
Because their arguments are always lies, and then they,
and you validate that lie by countering it.
Here's a perfect example. The only reason why they do these voter ID laws is to stop black people and people they think are going to vote for Democratic candidates.
And young
That's
people.
the only reason.
Right.
Oh, you can't use your school ID.
Right.
So anybody who argues, like I've made this argument a million times, nobody's winning stealing elections by first of all killing the person who's the original address, and then dressing up like them and going down to the poll.
Silence of the Lambs.
There's no imposters at the polls.
Yeah.
So, but it's only to stop people from voting. So if you start to argue with them about the issue itself, they've won.
They've won
because it's a phony issue.
Well, as is environmental about global warming. As soon as you give it an other side, it becomes a debate instead of a stated fact by 98% of the scientific community.
I'm no scientist. That's my favorite.
No scientist.
Greg, look, I'm not a scientist.
Look. I'm no politician.
That's
just president.
That's above my pay grade. Above my pay grade.
I'm staying in my lane.
Let me stay in my lane. Could be true. Couldn't be true. Look, in Albuquerque, one day was 170 degrees. I don't make judgments. My mother's kidney melted. Maybe something is going on. But do we want to close down every coal mine?
Yeah.
Because
do we want to cost a guy a low-income job to save the earth?
Because my mother's heart literally melted. It fell on the floor.
Wait, how many organs does she have to go out?
Well, she's
Seems
still
like
alive.
once one went out.
She's my only live adult I
right,
can
right.
go.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I'm counting me because I'm dead inside.
Have you ever had a scare where you thought you were dying of a heart attack or cancer or
yes,
anything?
always through drugs.
Oh, right.
I've never had
go to the
cancer
emergency
thing.
room on edibles. Was it on edibles?
No, I didn't go to the. No, you know someone who did?
Oh, I know lots of people.
Oh yeah, no,
emergency room
because
on
you
edibles.
really. No, but I felt on edibles. The reason why I think that when I do finally die, and a lot of people are hoping it's this year. It's
not so much a death pool as like a wish list.
It's I didn't see Andy Kindler in the in memoriam section. I assume it's just because he's not well known enough, right? But he did die.
That is the under over on Famous, isn't it? That is the ultimate mortality under over.
Well, I have a friend who works. I have a friend who writes obituaries for the New York Times. So I'm pitching them all the time, baby. How could I not?
Do you really? You know the guy?
Really. I do know him though. Yeah.
But I just said, is that true? And you said no, and then you said no, but I really
no.
know.
He does. He did no. I say no 5 times. Is my new thing.
Is that But I don't understand your answer.
No.
Do you know him or do you not know him?
No. Here's the thing. I'm trying to overwhelm your energy,
right?
And I've got nothing. That's my MO. No. You stop whatever nice thing you might have been doing. And let me further cloud the waters of your initial question. No. Oh, he writes like show business obituaries.
Really?
Or musician obituaries.
What's his name?
Peter Keepnews.
Peter Keepnews.
Yes, Peter
That's a good
Keepnews.
Newsy name.
Yes, he's a great writer. His father is a great writer. He's also a stand-up comedian.
Wow. All right. Check out his work. Now, do you think that gets him an in if he dies?
Oh, he's already bribed the guy who is continuing to live.
And it is already written
I
his.
can't even tell a lie story good. He's already bribed the guy who's continuing to live. What could that possibly mean? I paid Peter Keepnews $10,000 in unmarked cash, and when I'm saying unmarked, there's no numbers on them. So that's
you want to know my joke about they're going to put a woman's face on the $20 bill? Did you hear this? No, this is true. They're going to put it's going to be Rosa Parks or somebody like that, which is great news for women. Bad news for the $20 bill. Now it's only going to be worth $14. I know. Should have worked harder.
I love that joke.
Yeah, that one does very well with the people.
And people say that your ability to write has fallen off a cliff.
Precipitously. Yes.
They say you're a shell of what you were earlier.
Yeah, they are.
When you had so many topical jokes.
That's
that
right.
You had to open up a franchise.
All right, give me a topic over the last 20 years. I'll tell you the topical joke I had about it.
Okay, 20 years. Y2K.
Y2K. Why not?
That was my joke, you son of a bitch. All right, how about what about that Monica Lewinsky? More like Monica Blowjobinsky. Are you with me on it? This is the kind of jokes that Gallagher would say. Gasoline's so expensive, they should put a combination lock on your gas tank. Here's some kiwi.
Wait, was Gallagher a bad comedian, or is he a bad? Is he?
Well, Gallagher might have been. I think Gallagher, you could
at least
argue
he tried to do like political stuff.
Well, his political stuff One time I'm used to be obsessed with bad comedy, but I can't watch it anymore. But one time I'm watching a Gallagher special, and he goes, "You people are pissed off. You need a spokesman." So for that, he really did see himself as telling the truth.
Yeah, right.
Don't you know he has all those crazy ideas of like a helicopter, like there's an accident on the freeway, there's all these helicopters they're not using, so they should just use them to pull the car off the freeway immediately. He has all these crazy ideas, Gallagher.
But that seems like a comic premise, isn't it?
No, he's upset about it, and he's got schematics.
Does he rollerblade now, or is he still on the roller skates?
Oh, he had rollerblades?
He did an entire HBO special on roller skates.
See, that's the kind of thing that is the risk-taking that I'm glad the comics don't do anymore. I'm glad that a lot of the comics today don't say, "What if I just ate a tuna fish sandwich during my old special?" And they go, "No, it's stupid." Someone like Gallagher go like, "What if I smash fruit?" Nobody said to him, "You're an idiot."
You realize that you just made fun of an actual thing because Nick Kroll and John Mulaney do a show on Broadway.
Oh, hello?
And
I
hello,
can't
they
wait
have
to
an
see it.
audience member eat a tuna fish sandwich. I
Well,
swear
that's
to God.
too much tuna. That is a classic. They have Jeff Gurian eat it.
Who's that?
Jeff Gurian is a gentleman who's gone to the Montreal Just for Laughs Festival for years and years, and he was on their TV show.
Oh, no, I think they just pick an audience member out and they have them eat a tuna sandwich.
No, during that. But I saw the preview. There was a show on TV either called Oh Hello or it was part of the Kroll show.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Don't try and you know how I have an encyclopedic memory of comedy, but it's a 1956 World Book.
Just for the record, Andy looked away and then did a drink take after that last one.
How many jokes do you have that start out, "I don't want to say"?
I don't know, but most of them turn on apparently.
Here's something in medical news. Apparently now, here's something. Britney Spears is in the news again. That's all Jay Leno does. He sits at home.
Yeah.
He doesn't sit at home. He sits in the big warehouse.
The car warehouse?
Huge warehouse that could, as I always say, could feed the world 8 times over. And
Yeah.
there would be no starvation. There would be no starvation, pestilence, disease, if Jay Leno didn't have to have every stupid car that
But
was ever
think
made.
about the joy he brings into poor people's lives when he pulls up in a steam-powered fire engine at the playground.
that. They love it.
Isn't that better than feeding them?
When you think of the fact that no one's ever visited that stupid warehouse except for Tim Allen because it was televised,
Yeah.
it's just him. It's just him. And he adjusts his mirror. Hey, Justin Bieber's in the news again there today. Justin Bieber. He's wearing a denim shirt.
Yeah.
And you telling me that's success, Greg?
Yeah. Yeah. The denim shirt with the denim jeans. It's almost like, and God bless him, I think Judah Friedlander is really funny, but the hats that he wears,
Right, the hat.
world famous, like it's sort of like something that, all right, you had this idea to try this thing,
Yes.
and it's not, you don't have to keep doing it.
No,
and like
you're
Jay
right.
Leno, you don't have to keep wearing denim shirts.
No, but Jay Leno doesn't have any fashion sense. Now, Judah Friedlander, I would say over the years, he's grown on because he's a true oddball.
Yes, he is. He's also a fucking really good actor. He did.
Oh,
the
he was
R.
great
Crumb.
in American Splendor.
Yes.
He's also supposed to be one of the best ping pong players in the
He
world.
is. He is.
Why is it? I was a great ping. You know what? I was good at one sport. It was ping pong, and I would make myself feel better about the other sports where I was not tall enough. And now I realize I was just good. I was just the best in my neighborhood because I had a table downstairs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. Right.
What how, I'm
Practice,
deluding
practice,
myself
practice. Yeah,
that I'm going to
completely.
play a Judah Friedlander. I'm not going to even see the whatever they call it.
Well,
birdie.
it's the same way you're a stand-up comic in the alternative world in L.A.
Yes, that and 50 cents
Will get you
a cassette tape.
of
Paula Poundstone, 1992.
all riffs.
This
all
is our
riffs.
new thing that
Very
we
quick.
do. It's like a.
Mad Libs.
Do you know that the guy who? This is my favorite jokes, and I always love jokes that don't work well. The guy who invented Mad Libs was laughing all the way to the shoe.
That's a good one, Andy.
I do like it, and I even lie that doesn't do well.
Yeah.
It kills everything.
It
I do
kills.
kills.
It always does. Wait, I feel like I wanted to double back on something, but so many things
I messed
happen
it
in
up.
a row.
I messed it up. It was American Splendor. It was
Jesus.
Judah Friedlander. You were talking about Judah
Judah
Friedlander
Friedlander.
and about hats.
Before that, we talked about... Well, let's just talk about branding in general, because You have no brand. You've worn the same black. Let me see your shoes.
The same
black shoes? Yeah.
Well, not you know what's more
those are
disturbing than
sneakers.
the shoes are fine because who cares?
Yeah.
I go to nondescript is me.
Yeah.
But the black jeans, and when is it going to stop with me with the black jeans?
It's too much.
I can't wear a lovely flare.
Nope. Let's talk about why you're here. Let's talk about the state of the industry is coming out on, is it Vimeo?
The state of now that's not nice, Greg. You know, I told you last night that my career is not going well, and that if you could steer away from the jokes about how pathetic it would
Is
be.
it KTLA is doing
No,
it?
you see, I asked you last night. I said, "Don't do your usual." Oh, are you on Rabbit Ears TV? Is that how you get it? Oh, Andy, are you still doing your mailed newsletter, your mailed comedy newsletter, the lighter side of life? I have so many things going on now. The first day of the industry address, 1996.
Now, just so let me tell people what the state of the industry is.
You said nice table here.
This is something that the Montreal Comedy Festival is the preeminent comedy festival. It has been for the last 30 years. And at it, Andy has performed how many years in a row?
21 years or 20 years of the speech.
20 years, Andy goes up there, and he does something that's during the day. It's like what you would think is the most sterile comedy environment of all time. It's a well-lit conference room in the middle of a hotel at like noon.
It would be what you would imagine having sex with me would be. Boring and in a conference room. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Trying to set the table.
I know, sorry I interrupted.
So
I love though you give the silent treatment better than anybody because I listen to all your podcasts and you give the silent treatment to people so much and you don't always comment on it when you do give them the silent treatment. You right?
So Andy goes in there and he has done something that I believe has stalled his career out in the middle over the last 20 years, which is he rips apart every network, every production company, every manager, every agent, and whoever the biggest comedians are.
And
of
whoever's
the day.
even if they're talented, I go after them.
Yes.
Oh, Louis C.K., boom, go after him.
You went after Louis, which nobody's gone after Louis since or before that.
No, and I have not been, and he is not one episode of his tragedy show that he does. I was in Horace and Pete. What was your favorite episode of Horace and Pete? The one where Steve Buscemi looks at the shot glass for 65 minutes? Or the one where Alan Elda uses the N-word? What was your favorite Horace and Pete? You can't say it because you called me up. I said don't make fun of my career. You called me up and said you were crying. I said, Andy, I've repaired my relationship with Louis. Please don't screw up. I love the image of you being frightened. I can't imagine you being. Here's my image of you: a guy in front of you stops too short at a traffic light, and makes you have to put on the brakes. Okie dokie, boom. Door gets closed. Walk around. How you doing today? Boom. Lifted out of the car, thrown across the divider. Am I that far from true?
I almost got out of the car the other day. A guy, because he did. It was last night. I went to get some food in Marina Del Rey. And so the guy at the Fresh Greens, is that what it's called? Something Greens?
Yeah, like where you can buy like
get like steaks and chicken. And so this guy walks in, I'm online, and he just walks right in front of me. and he goes, I got an order to pick up. And I go, I got an order to pick up too. And he ignored me and he paid for his order. Oh. So now I pull out of the parking lot and he makes an illegal U-turn and goes in front of me. Same fucking guy. So I put on my high beams and I ride on his bumper for 3 blocks. And then he stops. A car is making a left and he stops behind that car so that I can't get around him. And he could get around the car, but I can't because there's a car to my right.
Oh.
And then I start honking and hitting the brights over and over again. And then he turned off a side street.
You know what they call that in your world? Tuesday.
That's just Tuesday night, picking up food for the family.
I was feeling good. I felt good the whole time.
And the worst thing is, my pulse doesn't rise. My temperature doesn't go up. I'm completely calm. And as soon as he turns off, I forget it ever happened. Like I forgot it until you just brought it up.
That's what I want to be you, because is it better my way? Oh, did that guy give me a funny look? Is he going to come and hurt me?
Yeah, till you die and road rage. That's what's going to happen to me.
Oh, yeah,
So state of the industry. So Andy gets up there and he skewers everybody. It's like a roast,
That's true.
but it's done in a way that is it's so inside, and yet it's totally accessible because you're making fun of greed and pomposity. It's like you're taking everybody down.
Well, I was very surprised to hear that this company, Comedy Dynamics, they wanted to put one out, and I listened to the first one because we had debated over the years whether we were going to put them out, and then like a lot of times we were like, I would say, why do I want every horrible thing I've said about someone to be now out there, reaching a bigger audience?
Yeah.
But I was surprised that the things I was talking about, they weren't that inside. But the thing I most enjoyed about it, which is probably weird, was I was able to see what I was envious and jealous and petty about during that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, my God.
What would you say are the main three targets? I would say Comedy Central, number one.
Well, no, because at that time I was with Comedy Central. I had a deal with them.
Yeah.
At that festival, I had had a falling out with HBO. It's a long story. I had a falling out, so of course I have to slam them 12 times, and in ways that nobody even knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I guess HBO was supposed to sit here, right? Like it was like that type of thing. I went after Comic Relief, but that was fine. But
what did you say about Comic Relief?
I was saying I love the way they say, these people, it used to crack me up. These people are giving up. They could be in a club somewhere making good money, but they're here instead doing Comic Relief. Oh, yeah, they're here in front of 60 million people. What a sacrifice it was. And then I don't know if I said this during the thing, but my favorite thing I ever heard was Robert Wohl. He goes on there. He goes, hey, homeless. Hey, you ever notice when you're in first class and they bring you steak instead of the lobster? And what are you going to do? You can't eat both. And then I swear to God, he goes, watch Arliss. It's on after this.
No, he did.
He did.
The greatest entertainment mystery of all time is how Arliss stayed on the air for what? 8 years?
That
10
is
years?
Unbelievable.
And I've never met a person in my life that
who's
watched
an
it,
episode.
but I heard that he was like best friends with who was the guy who was the head of HBO?
Chris Albrecht?
I believe he was like really tight with Chris Albrecht, and he just kept putting it on.
He's one of those guys who you go to a party and he's smoking a cigar.
Yeah,
And it's
because he made it.
It's indoors and it's an ICU unit. Because he made it. Because he made it.
All right, so
that's
that's going out in Comedy Dynamics. And where does that air? How do people get that?
Okay, so that airs like on iTunes and various other things. I'm so bad,
Oh, so it's going out like a 1 hour special.
Yes. It's
Will it
going
be a
out, but
series?
It's only audio. It's only audio.
Will it be a series?
I think it should be. Now, the last 3 years or 4 years, I started to release them on SoundCloud because what happened was
The video and audio?
just the audio.
Right.
Because what happened was in the old days when there was print media, people would watch the speech and they review it. Then it started to become that people weren't even in the room when they were reviewing it. And one article from a guy who didn't even see it was like, Kindler calls Corolla Hitler. Doesn't seem to be kidding. Now, that could be a review of any of my shows. But so then I started to get very mad. And one year, people thought me being interviewed about the speech was the speech.
Yeah, yeah.
So the last 3 or 4 years, no. But there's about 15 of them people have never heard.
Yeah.
Don't start clamoring now. And then I have other things. You think that's all I've got, Greg?
Yeah, no, I hear there's more. I hear there's more going on for you.
Because normally I come in here and I can't even find my website, and you're like, what is going on with you?
What are your tour dates? And you name a decade instead of a weekend.
Right, and you berate me. You say, why is April open? Because I take April off. I do my taxes. I'm doing something called Coming to the Stage for Hulu. People say, Andy, there's too much on network. Can you be on a Hulu type thing?
Right.
So I bring these new comics to the stage, and what better way to be introduced for a set than by a guy who's given up many years ago, who hates everything.
It was like Rodney Dangerfield at the end when he did those young comedian specials.
But didn't he enjoy those?
Did he?
My favorite line of his is, "I'm okay now, but last week was rough." Love that just set up.
So you're going to, where do you do these shows with the young comedians?
That's on Hulu.
But
It's
I mean,
called Coming to the Stage.
where did you record?
Oh,
them?
we did this like on an actual sound stage. Maybe I'm gonna get in trouble now because we make it look like a club.
Yeah,
But it's not a club.
yeah.
It's
and who were some of the comics that you
I
like?
can't remember the name of anybody on that show.
Are you serious?
But there were funny people too. But that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is you don't want to know the name.
This is just to make people feel better about the fact that they are doing well in comedy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Then of course I was in La La Land, which was a big hit for me.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
Can you sing your part?
City of this, would you schmoop a deep a dang dang dang. Here's a song you won't remember as you're leaving the theater. We're getting ready for a party. Hey, hey, we're getting ready for a party. Whoa, whoa, it's gonna be a Hollywood party. Yes, yes. Oh, we're gonna be dressed to the nines. Doop 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 doop. Skeek ba da top top. Do you have the number where the party is? Oh, you have to go online. It's a party. It's Saturday night. We're in Hollywood. It's Hollywood. You know what we should do? Hey, let's go to the party. Hey, let's go to the party. Wah! Bad dancing. Wah! Bad dancing. Wah! Dancing like you fell over a puddle. Bum. Bank. That movie made me hate words. That movie made me hate music. That movie made me hate his first movie.
What was his first movie?
Whiplash.
Oh, come on.
I like that movie.
Oh, God damn
Boop with the
it.
bing.
Boop with the bing.
Buska. Here's my favorite line in the movie.
Like you're falling over a puddle.
He's a jazz guy, right? He's a jazz guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, one of his favorite places, they changed the name to Samba and Tapas.
Yeah.
He goes, who would name a place Samba and Tapas? Who would name it? The writer-director of the movie? Is what I'm guessing, since it's a place that doesn't exist. How do they come up with these names? They have a guy who has one movie that did very well, and he sells everybody on this idea that what we need more than anything else is a musical. You know how you're on the freeway? Why shouldn't that be a musical? Honk, honk. Get out of my way. Honk, honk. Do you know where the 105 hits the 605?
Yeah.
Did you ever want that to be shown?
They made it sexy.
Yeah.
They made a SIG alert sexy.
And you know how a movie doesn't have anything going for it when all they do is tell you how they had to shut down the freeway?
Yeah, right.
It's like
right.
when Louis C.K. talks about the helicopter. They didn't want me to rent a helicopter because they wanted to make money on the show eventually. I said no way. I said, you make the hell out because I'm an auteur. Do you know that Louis C.K. wears a beret, and yet he still wears one of those black shirts that they got from Ricky Gervais? I am not even angry about this anymore.
Have you?
Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me for bringing up the people that I could most, and then why would I do it?
Well, I think that this is a good showcase for what you're honestly here for, which was the number one start my podcast for me. How long were you going, by the way, before I got here?
I
10
think
minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Do you do a whole series of these now? What do you do? You go home?
How
come a man like you doesn't have an ISDN line at home?
I do.
And you call it in. Why do you have to see a schlub like me live?
I like to feel your energy. I like to take you in.
Is that why your hand's on my knee?
That's right. That's not my hand.
That's not my popcorn.
By the way, you know what I just saw?
Nobody finds each other more delightful than we find each other. So
I hope
great.
other people find it
I would make
enjoyable.
love to you right now and not even do it ironically.
No. Here's what we do. We get hotel rooms next to each other, but you know they have the adjoining door. And then people see us go in separately. Little do they know.
Right. And we even say, we're going in separately. We're going to have sex in there, but let the record show we went in separately. This is like, we could do our own version of White Christmas.
All right. Listen. We've talked about a lot. The main thing is AndyKindler.com is the place to find all of these things,
It's
right?
really bad. I have to update my website.
Oh,
the main thing to do, I don't know where your dates are, but go to AndyKindler.com. Oh wait, this isn't coming out today, right, or something? Are we pre-taped? Or am I not allowed to say that? Oh, can't wait for this to come out later.
No, it's streaming live.
Streaming live?
No, when does this come out?
You know, I
could put it out today, I think.
Okay, let me ask you.
Does it matter?
Let me ask you if this joke will work, okay?
Yeah.
I had to go to a urologist because I was streaming live. No? Yes?
I went to
Good? Solid?
I like it. I went to the doctor and the nurse gave me a cup and she told me to urinate in it. And I got confused and I jerked off in it. So when I handed it to her, I just said, sorry, I've been drinking a lot of eggnog lately. That's blue. Yeah, I know you don't like to work
laugh
blue.
at it, though, because of the rhythm is good.
Yeah.
The rhythm is good. Is this what you do with all your shows now? Oh, you know what I did before you got
I'm
here?
looking up AndyKindler.com. That's what I'm doing.
I did overheard.
You did?
I did overheard. And I did it like this. I went, overheard. I heard it. Overheard. Oh, the man who put 2 seconds into the intro to his overheard. Oh, man.
And you realize it's
You
his
won't
own
survive.
voice.
You will not survive this show.
All right, here it is. Here's your latest tweet. Misogyny oil. Rub it in. Smell the sandalwood and patriarchy.
Now, I thought that was clever.
What's
wrong with that?
Why are you trying to help women so much?
I know. You know what it is? I'm trying to get the ladies with that.
Yes.
Then a lady will write to me, and they'll say, I really appreciate when you stand up for women. I go, what are you wearing right now?
That was actually a sketch they did on SNL.
Oh,
this
really?
week. Yeah, they had different guys come up to women, and like one's wearing like one of those grab the pussy hats, and he's like, "So can I get your number?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Bitch."
Oh, I saw that bit.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny.
I
although
saw that
the
bit.
episode was
It was not
fucking bad.
I have enjoyed Saturday Night Live, and
Very
everybody
uneven
knows I hate
season.
everything.
Yeah.
But the women on there are so amazing.
Yes.
And the Melissa McCarthy thing, I have never seen anything funnier than that in my entire life.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a good episode.
They have episodes where I just think, man, they are back, and then I'll watch the next week. There were 2 or 3 sketches on this week's episode where I literally don't even know what they were trying to go for.
Well,
I don't know what the narrative of the sketch was.
Like,
I didn't get a
one
handle
with
on
period clothing. Wasn't there one with like period clothing? Maybe.
I didn't see that, but there was like a character. There were just characters that I felt like were not fleshed out, like they were workshopping a character.
Meanwhile, if you and I wrote for the show, but I don't have a goddamn thing.
Oh, I'd be
What
blank.
are we gonna do?
I'd be blank.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Let's go get your old stuff that you submitted to in living color.
Let's watch some Your Show of Shows episodes. We'll grab something. Here's the thing about your AndyKindler.com. Doesn't even try to have... Oh, yeah, no, you do have a calendar. Here's what it is. You are going to be in Vancouver. Wow. You going to see Zach up there?
Well, that was already passed.
October 24th, 25th. Oh, that already happened. How'd that go? Did you get a crowd?
It was very October 20th. That's even last year's
No,
Vancouver.
February, I mean.
Yeah,
February.
no, it was very good. Oh, did I tell you that I kill and sell out everywhere now? Did I mention it?
Is that true?
No. You know what? I will say this. I do. My friend Christina Hall was a comic, and she used to hate those people who go about how much they make for a living. Let's just say I do okay.
Well, you know my favorite joke you told me of all time.
What's that one?
Do you make a nice living? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I fucked it up. Are you comfortable?
Oh, you mean
Are
that
you comfortable?
I make a nice living.
Yeah.
You mean that I went to sit and sleep? Is that what you're talking about?
No, you just told me that old Jewish joke, and I taught it to my kids, and I insist that they do it on call if they want allowance, if they want meals. I have to be able to walk in the room at any time when they're on the couch and say, are you comfortable?
Right.
And I have to say I make a nice living.
And that is, first of all, you're raising kids who are going to really understand where comedy comes from.
Yes.
And annoying people. But the story is that Walter Matthau fell on a set, and that and he really hurt himself really bad. He had to go to the hospital, and that Jack Lemmon asked him if he was comfortable, and even in that state, he said, I make a nice living, as he was about to be carted off.
I wonder if the joke won't hold up because it is so kind of Jewish.
Ask me what the secret of a good comedian is.
What's
timing?
You also have a date here. I got excited to see you're at Caroline's on Broadway, and then I noticed it's from 6. It starts at 6 p.m. What is that, a bringer show?
Do you feel bad now that it was a benefit for the Brooklyn Autism Center? Do you feel bad now that your jokes have prevented scientific breakthroughs?
Me and Brooke Shields.
Oh, what did she do?
It says 19. She denies.
You're mixing up McCarthy with Brooke Shields.
You sure?
Isn't it McCarthy who doesn't Jenny McCarthy?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Brooke Shields is the one who Tom Cruise was yelling at because she takes.
Oh, that's right. So she's actually
nice. She's nice.
Nice.
She's a nice person.
1996. It says inaugural State of the Address by Andy Kindler. iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify.
Oh, and I don't know. Have you done these things before? Because I'm raking it in.
On this.
Do you get Sound Exchange checks?
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
What was your last one for?
Mine used to be a lot.
35,270.
No, I used to literally I used to get 10, 15,000 a year.
Well, you had product.
But now I get like less than 1,000 a year.
Yeah, because they do more stuff on Spotify and Pandora. Hey, you know what I always said with Pandora? I don't want to open up that Pandora's box.
I saw that one coming before you even brought up Pandora.
When I'm not funny, what do you think the problem is?
I think that you are still trying to play to a 1950s Catskills crowd.
That's true. And they sucked. You know how they always talked about the Catskills?
Yeah.
It sucked. And the food was bad.
It sucked. I know. And it was rapey. It was very rapey. Oh, yeah. Everybody was getting raped. They don't talk about it. All right, listen.
They don't talk about it.
How much time do we have?
Did I mess you up? What time is it? I have other podcasts, too.
I know, you do. And so I need to get you out of here in 3 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to think of the best way to use.
Or do you leave here and I stay?
You may, it may be like you get to stay still.
This is very, a lot of people say there's a sterility to studios.
Yeah.
This is unbelievably.
This one's very intimate.
Like home, it's got the executive sandbox.
That's right.
Do you remember the executive sandbox?
No, what's that?
It's a stupid thing where you would have like a little rake in there and it would have sand.
And you would spitball new ideas in there?
No, you buy that for someone on Christmas when you have no other ideas.
I got some dates coming up. I will be at the Vermont Comedy Club in Burlington, March 9th through 11th. Irvine Improv, March 16th. That'll be fun. Hollywood Improv, Hollywood, California on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th.
You do that every year?
Do it every year. I'd ask you to be on it, but we're chock full of comics already.
I'm available.
Maybe we'll call you. Bill Burr will be on it. Joe Rogan. Big Irish J. Houston Improv, March 24th through 26th. Atlanta, The Laughing Skull, April 20 through 22. Baltimore, Maryland, April 26th. Helium Comedy Club in Philly, April 27th through 29. The Bell House in Brooklyn, April 30th.
I want to play there.
Tickets not selling well at all.
How many tickets are available there?
Almost all of them.
Okay, look. You know what we're going to do?
Live in Brooklyn,
if they're not going to see you in Brooklyn, they don't deserve to have Brooklyn.
It's true.
I will RT it.
Will you?
And you will get such a bump.
All right. I'm looking for a bump. If you know people in Brooklyn, send them out. And then there's a bunch of other dates. Go to FitzDog.com for tickets.
Is your act artisanal?
Yeah. I'm going vegan. My whole act will be vegan. And I'll talk about black people so you'll feel like you're part of the real Brooklyn. Andy,
you use the word gentrify.
Well, how do you feel about what's happened with the Jewish people coming in and taking over places that the gay people started and then making money off of them?
What did they do?
In neighborhoods?
I had never heard of this.
That's gentrification. Gay guys find nice spaces and they make artistic lofts, and then the Jews come in and they buy them off of them, and then they rent them out to poor black people.
I think
your thoughts.
When you're dead, they will find out why your brain is categorized so much. You must be a condition. Yeah, we got a black guy, and then the lesbian. All right, so the lesbian just wants to be the rug munching. And I said rug munching. I don't know. Are we on the right channel for that?
No, I think it's carpet munching.
Yeah,
rug munching is in the 70s when they didn't trim. Carpet's a little tighter.
Oh man, I love the old ways of referring to sex.
Yeah,
they were so respectful.
I know. I was thinking about having sex like. They say if you're gay, would you be, they have things like active top,
right?
Passive. I realized I would be a struggling bottom. And it would probably be a three-way.
I would be an ambivalent bottom. Ambivalent. I would all the way through, but I kind of want to be dominated.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure. Maybe I want to be hugged. Boom.
Andy Kindler, I thank you so much. I love you. And good luck to you. I can't wait to hear these old state of the industries. I love them. And continued good luck in your your cause. Thanks for listening. Thank you, John Matthews, for producing. And God bless America.